Today, I would like to take a look at the landscape of the UFC with the comparative lens from February 2025, which is where we're at currently at the time of recording this, and February of 2015. So we've got a 10-year gap. And I'd like to ask you guys a question and hopefully provoke some discussion in the comment section here about these questions. Now, this topic came up, as you've seen the title and the thumbnail, so you get where I'm going. But this topic came up at the post-fight press conference after the UFC Saudi Arabia card, where Dana White was up there talking, and one of these guys asking a question. He asked Dana White. He said, "Are you aware?" I'm paraphrasing, but he said, "Are you aware that there hasn't been a champion in the UFC's lightweight division from America since 2016?" Now, I just thought he was just talking smack, just to talk smack. But then I thought about it, and I was like, man, he's right. And there doesn't look like there's going to be one anytime soon either. So I was looking at that, and I thought, well, what about the rest of the UFC? And what's going on with the United States as far as their talent level? Now, this is there's two obvious possible answers for me. There could be something else, but these are the two obvious ones. The UFC is a United States-based company. They started in the United States. Their first however many events, United States. First one was in Colorado, I believe. Either way, it makes sense that earlier in the company's development, more of the talent was coming from the United States. So is this a case of the talent level from the United States is still the same, on that scale, as far as how many good fighters are coming from the United States as it was back then, but the UFC has grown to the point that it's now a global company, and we're seeing fighters from all over the world doing a really good job being top tier fighters, and we see a better mix in the divisions and a better mix of fighters throughout from all over the world, not just from the United States. Or the other possibility, is it also possible that the United States level of talent in fighters has dropped significantly, and that's why we're not seeing as many high-level fighters from the United States? Now, I want to take a look at the champions currently versus the champions of 2015. Now, make note, there is no women's flyweight division. The women's flyweight division does not get created until, I believe, 2017, so it's not there. But we're going to take a look at how many champions are from the United States at the current year, 2025. And let's quickly run through these modern champions and then go over the previous champions in 2015. Zhang Weili from China, not from the United States, obviously. Juliana Pena, although she goes by the Venezuelan Vixen, she is from Washington State, I believe Spokane. So we got one there. Alessandra Pantoja, Brazil. Merab and Ilya, both from the country of Georgia. Islam is from Russia. Bilal Muhammad is an interesting case because although the flag that pops up next to his name, the flag that he carries to the cage, is the Palestinian flag, Bilal's born and raised in Chicago. Chicago being in roughly the center of the continental United States. So, for the sake of this, I'll claim Bilal there. Dricus du Plessis, South Africa. Alex Pereira, Brazil. Even though he lives in Connecticut now, the dude's from Brazil, all right? Heavyweight is interesting. We got two heavyweight champions. Neither one actually beat the champion to get the title. Both of them beat just another contender. So, whoever, we'll give it a half. This one's a half, okay? Because we got John Jones from the United States. Now, when we look at the champions of the past from 2015, February 2015 to be specific, let's go through these. How many are from the United States? Carla Esparza, United States. Ronda Rousey, United States. Demetrius Johnson, United States. TJ Dillashaw, U.S. Jose Aldo, Brazil. Anthony Pettis, United States. Robbie Lawler, U.S. Chris Weidman, U.S. John Jones, U.S. Cain Velasquez. I know what you're saying. Velasquez, that doesn't sound like a United States name. He's from California. Cain Velasquez, U.S., just of Mexican heritage. Now, when we look at these, what do you notice is different? The United States ran the show here. The only fighter out of the champions not from the United States was Jose Aldo. The only one. Over here, we're trying really hard to scrape together 2.5. Something's going on. Something's different. Is it, like I said, is it because the UFC is a global market now, and that's, you're getting more talent from everywhere, and that's the thing? Or is it that the talent level in the United States has fallen off? But let's take a look at the divisions a little bit and say, okay, maybe the champion is from a country outside of the United States, but there's some good contenders from the U.S. Right? Let's look at that. Let's look at heavyweight first off. John Jones obviously is the champ for now. I mean, him versus Aspinall, if that happens, that could change things. But outside of John Jones, because he's also at the end of his career, who we got? Curtis Blades. It's the only one. Curtis Blades. He's already lost to Aspinall. Yes, he beat him once, but that was kind of a weird fluke injury. It'll be a while before Blades gets back to a title shot, but I will say Blades is a legitimate contender. Outside of him, though, none. That doesn't say much. Heavyweight doesn't really have many legitimate contenders. So, okay. Light heavyweight. The only two potential even sort of contenders at light heavyweight I can think of from the United States would be Jamal Hill, who just recently got knocked out by Alex Pereira, and Khalil Roundtree, who also just recently got knocked out by Alex Pereira. So sure, they could get another shot, but the separation there is pretty clear that they're not the top guy. 185 pounds, the best fighter from the United States was definitely Sean Strickland, but he's already lost to Dricus twice. I don't see him getting a title shot anytime soon. Outside of him, you got to go clear down to what is it, like number 12 or so when you get Fluffy Hernandez. Because Brendan Allen also recently just lost to Nazarene. The only guy that's on a streak right now in the division from the United States, Fluffy. So Fluffy's somebody that I don't think this year is going to be a champion or, running for the title, but it's because there's a lot of fighters there. Down the road, maybe. So there's hope for middleweight for the U.S. Bilal Muhammad, obviously he's from the U.S. Outside of him, the best contender would be Sean Brady. Sean Brady he's already lost to Bilal, so there's that. But either way, lightweight, the division that sparked this whole topic, nothing. We got nothing. I mean, there's Dustin Poirier, there's Justin Gaethje. Both of them are towards the end of their career, presumably. Michael Chandler, okay. Max Holloway is now a lightweight, but at the same time, where is he at as far as championship contention? He's a ways down there. I think the best hope for the United States at lightweight would be someone like Grant Dawson, who's way down the rankings. What is he, like 15? And he's like Fluffy in the sense that I don't think it's going to be soon. It's ways down the road, especially after that setback when he lost to Bobby Green. That didn't look great, but either way, or King Green now. So yeah, nothing there either. Featherweight. Josh Emmett, maybe? Josh Emmett? It's the best I got. I got nothing else for featherweight. Am I missing somebody? It's got to be Josh Emmett, but he already lost to Topuria. That's the best I got, though. 135, Sean O'Malley has a real shot. He's been the champion recently. He did lose to Barab, but he had some moments in that fight. A rematch could go differently. I do think the UFC would be interested in giving him a title shot, so there's that. Corey Sandhagen's kind of like someone that, I mean, he already lost to Umar very decisively. Umar then lost to Merab in the title fight. So I don't know that he's getting there without a really big win or a couple of them. So, there is that. There's some contenders there. We'll give them that. 125 pounds. Alessandro Pantoja is the champ. Who is the United States contender? The only one I can think of that's near the top even is Brandon Royval, and he's already lost to the champ twice. So there goes that. We're on to the women's bantamweight. It's the weakest division in the UFC right now. But coincidentally, this one's actually run by the United States, essentially. The top contenders are mostly from the U.S. Joanna Pena, like I said, U.S. We got Raquel Pennington, the former champion, United States. Kayla Harrison, United States. Macy Chasson's on the way up, United States. A lot of them are from the United States. So if the U.S. is going to have some champions for a while, it's going to be in the women's bantamweight division. When we look at the strawweight division, I mean, Tatiana Suarez was the best hope for the U.S. there, and she just lost. A very dominant performance from Zhang Wei Li to win that one. Let's go ahead and take a look at the women's flyweight division. Who do we have? Macy Barber, Erin Blanchfield, Miranda Maverick. But towards the top, you got a lot of people ahead of them. So like it poses that question, like I said. Do you guys believe it's because the United States talent has dipped? And that's why we're seeing mostly aging contenders that are from the United States, not any up-and-comers that are doing really well. A lot of the up-and-comers, these undefeated prospects from the U.S. are actually getting beaten or fraud checked, as y'all like to say. pretty early on in their UFC career. So we've seen that a lot lately. Guys like Austin Bashi, for example, someone who I was pretty high on, and then he goes out there and then gets beat by Christian Rodriguez, or someone like say Cody Steele, who just recently lost, who was a bright prospect and no luck there. So that poses those questions for me. Is it because the top guys from the United States, we've got aging veterans, and the younger up and coming guys just aren't as good, and the other countries of the world are really putting out some good talent? Or is it because the talent's always been there, and the UFC is just now finding them? That's the question I want to leave you guys with. Thank you guys for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, I know I didn't answer the question for you. I'm just trying to provoke the thought from you. Like this video if you've enjoyed it, and if you've had a good time watching it, and maybe drop some comments giving me your thoughts, your feedback on this. I'm still undecided on what I think, and who knows? Maybe there's another United States contender just around the corner. Also, who did I forget? Did I forget somebody? Let me know. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you down the road.